So what does Subhāṣita mean? Subhāṣita means well spoken. The very word Subhāṣitam is derived from Sushtu Bhashitam. So well spoken is a Subhāṣita. So the if the language itself is Sanskrit and it is something well spoken, we can only imagine how wonderful the content is going to be, whatever they are trying to do. Let's imagine Sanskrit to be an ocean and the literature are like the shells, the conches and shells in the ocean. These Subhashitas can be equated to the pearls inside those shells, right? So saving us all the trouble of diving deep, getting the oysters, taking out the pearls. These Subhashitakaras have given us the pearls for us ready-made. We are so blessed that we can enjoy the pearls without having to dive deep. They are so compact and yet so powerful, right? They actually help us dive deep into the realms of our cultural wisdom itself, right? And this is a collective genius passed down from many, many generations. It is a words of experience and it is power-packed nuggets of wisdom. Another thing I'd like to emphasize here is these are what I would like to say as timeless. So I see many children also on the screen and adults also. So children, you can never say that was from your generation. This is Sanatana, this is forever new. I can give you an example like this. So is it true that the fire was hot during your grandfather's time or great-grandfather's time and today it is not hot? Fire is still hot, right? Similarly, water is wet and air is cold or hot depending on the day. So it is eternal truths. So these Subhashitas are exactly right, exactly true, precisely correct in the time of our grandfathers or our times or our grandchildren's times also. So that is the power of these. So do not please dismiss saying it is ancient and it is not for me. I don't connect with this, not really. So, all right. So let's help strengthen with these two-liners how our life can get better. Let's see why we need Subhashitas, right? Now I said these are timeless and everything. And many people in your comments have said, I want to know about spirituality through Subhashitas and everything, right? Let's see how we can connect it, right? So if God was there above and we are here, first, the God's language was spoken and then the rishis gave us the Vedas and we didn't understand. Then they gave us the Upanishads to make it simpler. We didn't understand. Then God gave us Bhagavad Gita also, right? Krishna gave us Bhagavad Gita. But we have to at least make a couple inches closer towards that, right? So Subhashitas help us with Chitta Shuddhi, purity of mind. That brings us closer in preparation to understand what Bhagavad Gita is saying, what the Upanishads are saying. So these are not going to talk about philosophy. They're going to talk about life principles that can be eternal and can be used at all times. All right. So a little more about Subhashitas now. These Subhashitas are standalone verses. So suppose I understood one Subhashita and there is no continuity. It's not like a story. There is no cliffhanger at the end and next Subhashita will pick up from there and it will say something else. There is no such thing. So every Subhashita is a standalone all by itself. That's the beauty of it. And not just in a general book, these Subhashitas, there are many collections of Subhashitas themselves. And even there, each sloka is a standalone. So I keep saying in my classes, so if you missed a class, there is nothing like you're not going to get the connection kind because each Subhashita is on its own. And how we are going to, excuse me. Yeah. So why this title? Why did we keep this title for this particular program, right? Hey, there's a Subhashita for that. We could have called it as Subhashita Manjari, Subhashita Sudha, or whatever. So that Subhashita gets the highlight, right? No, why we chose this is because truly there is a Subhashita for every single situation. It's just we may not know all of them, but they're definitely the Subhashita for whatever situation we are in, real life ones. So that's the reason we wanted to make this sentence a jingle. Hey, there's a Subhashita for that. All right. So here, instead of diving into the ocean, like I was telling earlier, we are bringing a necklace, a pearl necklace, right to your homes to be able to enjoy the beauty about. And before we start, a couple house rules. So we started with the regular prayers. We'll be ending with another prayer. The learning will be repeat after. So I will say once, I'll have one other person repeat after me twice. All of you will be muted though because of the size of the class. We will not be able to unmute everybody and it'll be echoing and it won't work. So they will be repeating twice. So I would encourage you all to do the same. I'll be sharing my screen. I will show the Subhashita we are going to be learning. And when they are repeating after, you can repeat along with them. After that one time of repeat after, we'll be doing the entire shloka together. And parents and whoever has signed up, if you want to sit with your children, please feel free. Like I said, these topics are relevant to each and every person. So we welcome your whole family. And yes, please keep your videos on. I do still see some without the videos. I'd appreciate the videos on. I don't want to see blank squares. And yeah, anytime you have a question, there is a question answer box in the bottom of your screens. You're probably going to see a chat. You can click on that and type your questions. And we will have a question answer session at the end. So I'll be able to visit your questions at that time after we finish our shlokas in the plan for today. And what else did I have to say? And at the end, yeah, we will have a quiz. We'll have a test. Test is for self-assessment only. This is for nobody's one-upping each other, or it's nobody's ranking or anything. So that will be very simple. We'll talk about it later. And also there will be a small challenge at the end of each class. So let's get to it when we get there. And I want to share some of the people's opinions also. I want to read out some of the things you had written for why you enrolled to this course. So some of you said Subhashitas, Sanskrit language, culture, to be able to read scriptures, renew learnings from school, teach their children, get insight to the subject, improve quality of living, spirituality, timing is convenient, passion towards the subject, learning something new, de-stress, apply to real life, and so many more. We have people today logged in from India, USA, Canada, UK, Germany, Nepal, Malaysia, Kuwait, Estonia, and Bahrain. So a warm welcome to all of you. So we are really happy to see you. So I don't want to say good morning or good evening because we are from across the time zones. So I'd just say a warm welcome to all of you. So we'll start right up with the topic itself, with the first Subhashita today. I'll share my screen. Okay, that's my share screen. Okay, can you all see it? Yeah? Okay. All right. So we'll be meeting every Saturday like today. Okay, so this is our first Subhashita. So I'll do the repeat after mode and I will have Nikita unmuted and she's going to repeat twice after me. Draksham lana mukhi jata. Oh, 1 minute, I think. Yeah. Nikita, you need to unmute yourself. Let's unmute. Yeah. Yeah, Nikita, can you unmute now? You should have got a request to unmute. Yeah, okay. All right.
द्राक्षाम्लानमुखी जाता द्राक्षाम्लानमुखी जाता
शर्करा चाश्मतां गता
शर्करा चाश्मतां गता शर्करा चाश्मतां गता
सुभाषितरसस्याग्रे
सुभाषितरसस्याग्रे सुभाषितरसस्याग्रे
सुधाभीता दिवङ्गता.
सुधाभीता दिवङ्गता सुधाभीता दिवङ्गता.
So together, द्राक्षाम्लानमुखी जाता शर्करा चाश्मताङ्गता सुभाषितरसस्याग्रे सुधाभीता दिवङ्गता. Go ahead, Nikita. Go ahead, Nikita.
द्राक्षाम्लानमुखी जाता शर्करा चाश्मतां गता सुभाषितरसस्याग्रे सुधाभीता दिवङ्गता.
Awesome. So we will see how this shloka, the words are split up. So the words are draksha, mlana mukhi. It is a composite samasa word of mlana and mukhi. Where you see a hyphen, that means it's a samasa, not a sandhi, which means it's not something I can break it up. It is a word that has to be conjoined together like that. Jata, sharkara cha ashmatam gata. Subhāṣita rasasya, again another composite samasa pada, agre sudhabhita divam gata. So this is a shloka that actually is speaking about the greatness of Subhāṣita itself. Okay. So I do see some raised hands. One moment. Yeah, we'll keep the questions to the end though. Yeah. So here we know quite a few words, don't we? We know what is draksha. We know sharkara, maybe in some languages or even Hindi, shakkar, right? It probably comes from Sanskrit here. Sharkara, sugar. Subhāṣita, we all know. Sudha, many of you may know somebody who is named Sudha, which actually means Amritam, the divine nectar, right? So these are the words we already know. Let's see how it is put together in this particular shloka and what the author is trying to tell us. Okay, so here he is saying Draksha Mlana Mukhi Jata. Mlana is withered, wilted, wrinkled. So when grapes become wrinkled, what happens to grapes? They become raisins, right? Wilted grapes is raisins. So Draksha became wilted. Sharkara ashmatam gata. Ashmatam is became stone. So when sugar becomes stone, it is rock sugar. Kalkand or kallu sakkare kind of words we call it, right? So sugar becomes stone. Why? Why did they become like this? And also the last quarter, Sudha Bhita Divangata. Sudha, nectar, got afraid and it ran to heaven. Nectar is always in heaven, right? The Amritam is always with Devatas. But here, the poet is beautifully saying the grapes, they wilted and became raisins, and the sugar solidified and became rock sugar, and the Amritam got scared and ran away to heaven. Divam Gata. Divam is to heaven. Gata is gone. So the nectar got scared and ran away to heaven. Why? All this because of the first part of the second line. Subhāṣita rasasya agre. In front of the sweetness, the essence of Subhāṣitas, all these things, they said, my sweetness has no chance. Let me run away from here. So all the grapes wilted away, the sugar became hard, solidified, And nectar ran away to heaven because the Subhāṣita's essence and rasam is so sweet. Isn't this beautiful? Just the way he has explained the greatness of Subhāṣitas, how beautiful Subhāṣitas are, this is a very glimpse how nicely he says. So let's quickly see the meaning of the Subhāṣita. All right. Yeah. So grapes had a wilted phase and sugar solidified. Upon the origination or genesis of Subhāṣitas, the divine nectar ran away in fear to heaven. So these are natural phenomena which the poet has adapted to his liking, however he wants to use. One thing we need to remember about Subhāṣitas, it is used for intended purpose only. We cannot extend the logic beyond what is being said, right? Then we cannot say, oh, but the grapes are sweet, or raisins are sweeter than the regular grapes, so this is sweeter than Subhāṣita. No, we have to take the meaning only for intended purposes. Sometimes we have disclaimers underneath the products, right? So like that, this is a disclaimer. Use only for intended purposes. All right. Are you ready for the next one? Let me see a couple chats what we are saying here. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one then. I am trying to get as many wonderful Subhāṣitas to you during this 4 weeks time. There are way too many to pick. I have tried my best to bring different flavors. I'm just being too greedy, get as many as possible in the little time we have. Okay, so the second one. So I'll ask Ishan to be unmuted. Yeah? Okay. Let's see what this Subhāṣita is about. Svagrihe pujyate murkhaha. Ishan, you are still muted.
Svagrahe pujyate murkhaha. Svagrahe pujyate murkhaha.
Svagrame pujyate prabhuhu.
Svagrame pujyate prabhuhu. Svagrame pujyate prabhuhu.
Swadeshe pujyate raja.
Swadeshe pujyate raja. Swadeshe pujyate raja.
Vidvan sarvatra pujyate.
Vidvan sarvatra pujyate. Vidvan sarvatra pujyate.
So together I will say and you can repeat after me, Ishan. Svagrihe pujyate murkhaha. Svagrame pujyate prabhuhu. Swadeshe pujyate raja. Vidvan sarvatra pujyate.
Svagrihe pujyate murkhaha. Svagrame pujyate prabhuhu. Swadeshe pujyate raja. Vidvan sarvatra pujyate.
Thank you, Ishan. All right. So this one, I think a lot of us know the meaning here, what they're talking about. So murkhaha. Murkha is a foolish person. But even a foolish person gets worshipped and applauded in his own home. All right. So there is a saying in a local language, in Kannada actually. It says, Hettorige hegana muddu. For a hedgehog, even its little hedgehog, we may not think it is cute, but the mommy hedgehog will think, oh, my baby is so cute, right? So no matter what, in their own home, even if he is a murkha, he is a dull-witted person, he will be pujyat is applauded, not literally doing puja with flowers. He will be applauded and he'll be appreciated. On the contrary, svagrame, in his own town, in his own village, in his own grama, pujyate prabhuhu. In this one, there was no padavigraha. It is straight as is in the shloka itself. Swadeshe pujyate raja. A king is worshipped in his entire country. He is respected in his whole country. But guess what? Vidwan sarvatra pujyate. A knowledgeable person, an intellectual person, he is applauded and appreciated all across the world, right? We just saw an example. One person from, I think, a small town, he went and did some discovery. He went to Japan, and finally, everybody, even from um, the American countries, they wanted him to come and work here, but work in America. But then the prime minister offered him a job in DRDO, right? So that Vidwan didn't matter what country. Nobody bothered about which country he came from. He was respected in India, Japan, America, everything. Why? Because he was a well-read, knowledgeable person, right? So that's what the shloka here is saying. Swagrihe. This is a Saptami case, which is the seventh case. Can you all hear me well? Yeah? Okay. So it's Murkhaha. I'll give a small little bit about Sanskrit here, saying that, so when the word, not the gender of the person, in Sanskrit, the gender of the word is more important. So Murkhaha, the word, is in Pullinga. So Swagrihe, in the house, the adjectives of him are describing him, all those will become in that particular tense and gender. 1 minute. Okay. So Prabhuhu, this is also a Pullinga Shabda here. Raja is also a Pullinga Shabda. And Vidwan is a Pullinga Shabda, but then he is like Pujyate Sarvatra. There are many endings to the, what should I say, the words in Sanskrit, and many forms. So it is not easy to address all of them in this short span of time. So I'll not be getting into the intricacies of the language much, but I'll give you small tidbits here and there. This is a beautiful shloka, isn't it? Where he's saying knowledge is the biggest of all. Vidya dhanam sarvadhana pradhanam. That is the biggest treasure one can have. That's what this shloka is trying to say. Okay, so are we ready for another shloka? Is it going too fast? No, this is good? All right. We get the next one. Yeah, let's read the meaning of this before we move on. An idiot is celebrated in his own home. A lord is respected in his own town. A king is worshipped in his country, whereas a learned man is honored wherever he goes. Awesome, right? So let's get learning some more. Okay. So let's go to the third Subhāṣita. Ishan. Are you unmuted, Ishan? Okay. Pathato nasti murkhatvam.
Pathato nasti murkhatvam. Pathato nasti murkhatvam.
Japato nasti patakam.
Japato nasti patakam. Japato nasti patakam.
Mauninah kalaho nasti.
Mauninah kalaho nasti. Mauninah kalaho nasti.
Na bhayam chasti jagratah.
न भयं चास्ति जाग्रतः न भयं चास्ति जाग्रतः.
Together. Pathato nasti murkhatvam. Japato nasti patakam. Mauninah kalaho nasti. Na bhayam chasti jagratah.
Pathato nasti murkhatvam. Japato nasti patakam. Mauninah kalaho nasti, na bhayam chasti jagratah.
Very good. Thank you, Ishan. So, nasti. Let's look at the word splits here. Patato, the O, it is actually a visarga there. Patataha had become a patato, and na asti. Those are two words that had become a sandhi together that become nasti. And that goes across the four quarters, nasti, nasti, nasti. So, na asti. Murkhatvam, japataha, japato became japataha, na asti patakam. Mauninaha, kalahaha na asti, na bhayam cha asti jagrataha. So what's the poet trying to say here? Pathataha nasti murkhatvam. To a person who is well read, like what we saw, murkhaha in the previous shloka also, the first one, second one. Yeah. So there is no murkhatvam. There is no idiosity for a person who is well read. He will not work without thinking. That's what it means. Japataha. Japataha is not just sitting and doing meditation, one who contemplates. Japataha, one who contemplates, for him, na asti patakam, no sin. When do we commit a sin? When we are thoughtless, when we do not think our actions through. But when we are of a contemplative mindset, there is no way we can do wrong deeds. That's what he's trying to say here. Japataha na asti patakam. Mauninaha, for a silent person, one who doesn't talk much, kalahaha nasti. So this sometimes I keep telling kids, if they're like going at each other and like mauninaha kalaho nasti, keep to your own business, right? Kalahaha na asti. There is no tussle or quarrel for a person who is silent. Speech is silver, silence is golden, right? So that is what they are taking off of here. Na bhayam cha asti jagrataha. So jagrata, so when are we afraid? When we are going to something that is, a place that we are unfamiliar and we have, we have not ventured into those realms. Suppose I am going to a forest and I don't know what is there. I'm going to be afraid. But if I am going to my house, am I afraid? I am aware. Jagrata here is not just sleeping and awake alone. I am aware. I am aware of my surroundings, so I will not be afraid in my home, right? That familiarity is what he's talking about. So get familiar, and here they can be connotated to many, many, many arenas. So when we are saying na bhayam chasti jagrataha, it's not saying somebody who is awake or alert. It's also talking about very high spiritual level too, to a person who is alert and aware to his own self. He's talking about the aham brahmasmi alertness also. For him, what kind of bhayam, right? That's the meaning we have to import from here. So another thing I want to bring up here, when we are talking about Subhāṣitas, right? This is not the only context that we can use these things. We can use these Subhāṣitas in many, many, many contexts. We can use the same based on the requirement, and it can apply to, many situations and scenarios. Here, what I'm telling is just one example. For these situations, these are applicable. For this kind of aspect, this is applicable. That's a very small, minuscule example I'm giving you. So when I say, speech is silver, silence is golden, that can apply to, when two kids are going at each other, or at a bigger scenario where you learn to be the mature person or walk away from an argument, right? So this particular Subhāṣita can be applied to many different situations. But at the same time, like I said, used for intended purpose only. Suppose there is somebody getting bullied. We don't want to say, you know what, silence is golden. We want to be an upstander and we want to stand up against injustice. All these things we have to do. That time we are not telling mauninaha kalaho nasti, walk away, right? So we have to be judicious and prudent about Which one we apply at what time? All right, let's see the meaning of this one. Okay. A seeker or learner does not have imbecility, idiocy. A contemplating person won't have sin. A silent observer won't get in strife. There is no fear for the awakened. This also could be interpreted as there is no fear for an alert person. That will be a very mundane example. Like I said, this situation can be to somebody who is aware about his surroundings, there is no fear, or somebody who is awakened at the spiritual level and he has no fear of the world. So all these situations can be applied. All right. Full ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಚಿನ್ನ, ನಾನು ಏನು ಮಾಡಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ರೆ. Can you all hear me? Yeah? Okay. All right, moving on to the fourth one. Another beautiful one. I can't, say which is my favorite. Each Subhāṣita comes up and I'm like, I think this is my most favorite one. But the next time I see something else, I feel that is my most favorite Subhāṣita. So it's very difficult for me to pick a favorite one. And we keep talking about this in my class too. They all know how we can't, decide on one favorite one. Okay. Can we unmute Nikita? Nikita, are you unmuted? Okay. Na choraharyam na charajaharyam.
न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं
Twice.
न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं
Na bhratribhajyam na cha bharakari.
न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी
Vyaye krite vardhata eva nityam.
यये कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं यये कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं
Vidyadhanam sarvadhana pradhanam.
विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानं विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानं.
Very nice. Since this is a longer meter, we'll do it one more time. Repeat after Nikita. Na choraharyam na charajaharyam.
न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं
Na bhratribhajyam na cha bharakari.
न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी
Vyaye krite vardhata eva nityam.
यये कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं यये कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं
Vidyadhanam sarvadhana pradhanam.
विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानं विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानं
Together. Na choraharyam na charajaharyam. Na bhratribhajyam na cha bharakari. Vyaye krite vardhata eva nityam. Vidyadhanam sarvadhana pradhanam.
न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी यये कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानम्.
All right, thank you, Nikita. So before we get to the words and meaning of this, I want to give you a little more about the style of the Subhāṣita. What we saw so far, the previous one and the other two also, they were in Anushtup Chandas, which means each quarter. So Pathato Nasti Murkhatvam, that is one quarter. Japato Nasti Patakam, second quarter. So like that, it will have 4 quarters, and each quarter would have 8 syllables. So they are called Anushtup Chandas. So Chandas is a Shastra itself. So there is rules of how they create the shlokas and how, which one has to be Hrasva, which one has to be Dirgha. There are all rules for that. So that way, this is called Anushtup Chandas, which a lot of shlokas are there in that particular meter. Bhagavad Gita has a lot of shlokas in this. And the new one, the fourth one, actually is the other Chandas that is also in Bhagavad Gita. This is called Trishtup. This will have 11 syllables in each quarter. That is why we changed the tune for it, and it feels like a bigger, longer shloka. So when the chandas is different, what happens is the poet gets more leeway. It's like, when you have time to write more or say more, you can put more information in that much, right? In Anushtup Chandas, there is only so much I can put, but in Trishtup, he can put more concepts. That's what's happening here. Let's see the word breaks. Na chora haryam, na cha raja haryam, na bhratra bhajyam, na cha bharakari, vyaye krite vardhata eva nityam, vidyadhanam sarvadhana pradhanam. So this was pretty straightforward, except some samasa words where you see the hyphens. Na chora haryam. This is the greatness of Vidya they're talking about. We spoke about Vidwan, a learned person. Now the greatness of the Vidya, that what he has learned, what is the advantage of learning that Vidya, right? Here he gives the different aspects and attributes of Vidya itself. Na chora haryam. Suppose I have 1 kg of gold. Anybody can steal it from me, right? But Vidya, na chora haryam. No thief can steal it from me. Na raja haryam. Suppose I make $1 million today, right? Raja here, this is olden times. The king was the authority. Today it is Uncle Sam, tax, right? So Raja haryam. If I earn like $1 million, I have to pay certain amount as tax. He can take it away. Na bhratra bhajyam. Suppose I inherit something. I have to share among my siblings or whoever else. Then I have to give more to Uncle Sam, right? So all these issues. Na bhratra bhajyam. Bhratra is siblings. Here brother sits for both brother and sister. Nacha bharakari. It is not even heavy. If you give me a kg of gold, I have to carry it with me all the time. That 1 kg burden will be on my shoulder all the time, right? So these are all heavy things, or something that can be stolen, something that can be lost, something that can be shared or distributed. Basically, they will all diminish, right? Either they will diminish your energy in carrying, or they will take away because of distribution and everything. Basically, vyaya means change. It changes. If I have 1 kg of gold I inherited, when I share it becomes half kg probably, right? So that vyaya, that change, when the vidya is vyaya, when it is distributed, vardhata. This is the irony, right? It is always directly proportional. If I spend something, it reduces, right? If I give you an ice cream and you eat it, that ice cream reduces, right? If I give money and you spend it, the money with you reduces. But if I give you knowledge and you share it, does it diminish like your ice cream? If you gave 1 bowl of ice cream and you shared it with 2 people, the ice cream reduced, right? But Vidya does not reduce when you share. Vardhata, on the contrary, it just increases. Nityam, always. Hence, Vidyadhanam, the property of money, the wealth of, not the money property here, the wealth of knowledge, Vidyadhanam, Sarvadhana Pradhanam. It is most important among all kinds of wealth. So the poet is saying, don't earn any other kind of wealth because it can diminish, it can be stolen, it can reduce, or it can seem heavy. But you can't say, oh, I read 10 books, my head is so heavy. Yeah, you may feel heavy for 10 minutes, want to go sleep. But does it actually make your head from 5 kg to 10 kg? No, right? So it is not bharakari, it is not stolen, it is not something that, it can be shared or distributed. So vidya dhanam sarva dhana pradhanam. That is why it is the most important kind of wealth. So get earning is what the poet is trying to tell us here. Let's see the meaning. Not stolen by thieves, not seized by kings, not divided among brothers, not heavy to carry. The more you spend, the more it flourishes always. The wealth of knowledge is the most important among all kinds of wealth. Do you all agree? Yeah? So let's get earning more, right? Knowledge, that is. All right. So I want to ask some feedback from you, all of you. Is this going Saraswati ki bhandar ki? Okay. So in the text box, can you all type and let me know if this is either too fast or you're able to follow? What do you feel? All right, good to see. All right. Awesome. Can you add the chanda to the slides and word translations? Yeah, in the slides, maybe not, because I will let you know. Most of them are Anushtup Chandas. I have picked only one or two that are not Anushtup Chandas. I will let you know when it is not Chanda, the Anushtup Chandas. All right, thanks everyone for the feedback. Today I want to, because we started with introduction and we didn't have enough time, I'm not going to be talking too much about the language aspect. Maybe in the upcoming classes, we'll introduce a little bit more about it. Today I want to, give you a few more Subhāṣitas, which I think are very dear to my heart and important too. I'll say that to every Subhāṣita, be ready. All right, Ishan, can you be unmuted? All right, Ishan, repeat after me. Priyavakya pradhanena.
Priyavakya pradhanena. Priyavakya pradhanena.
Sarve tushyanti jantavaha.
Sarve tushyanti jantavaha. Sarve tushyanti jantavaha.
Tasmat tadeva vaktavyam.
Tasmat tadeva vaktavyam. Tasmat tadeva vaktavyam.
Vachane kadaridrata.
Vachane kadaridrata. Vachane kadaridrata.
Together. Priyavakya pradhanena. Sarve tushyanti jantavaha. Tasmat tadeva vaktavyam. Vachane kadaridrata.
Priyavakya pradhanena. Sarve
Uh-oh. Okay, I think something happened with the connection. I'll repeat after for him. Priyavakya pradhanena sarve tushyanti jantavaha tasmat tadeva vaktavyam vachane kadaridrata. All right. So let's see. This is again in Anushtup Chandas. And words are not difficult here either. I have picked simple Subhāṣitas for a reason, so that it goes straight to the heart and also it is easy to learn. I will talk more about it when we finish up the class. Priya Vakya Pradhanena. Pradhana is, which is most important aspect, prominently, predominantly. Priya Vakya. When you predominantly talk, Priyam Vakyam. You talk nicely, politely, sweetly. Sarve tushyanti jantavaha. Sarve is everybody. Tushyanti are pleased to. Jantavaha, every being. We are not talking about humans alone. People, pet owners should know probably, right? Even their dogs, cats respond to your intention or your voice, tone of voice and everything. I wouldn't know that because I don't have any pets. But yeah, I've heard that, dogs and cats also respond very well when you talk nicely to them. They can feel your pulse, they say. So what to speak about human beings then, right? Tasmat tadeva vaktavyam. Tat eva vaktavyam. That alone, he emphasizes, right? That alone. Vachane daridrata ka. What poverty to words, right? What scarcity for words we have. So if there is scarcity of rain, it can cause a drought, correct? If there is scarcity for wealth, what can it cause? Poverty, right? It can cause all these things. But what can cause a scarcity for words? Can I say, oh, wait, I'm fresh out of words today. I'm fresh out of good, good speech today. It can never happen. Vachane daridrata ka. There is no reason to ever have no good speech. That is very, very important. And we have to keep that in mind and speak nice always. Our demeanor has to be pleasant at all times, is what this Subhāṣita is saying to us. So, Priyavakya Pradhanena Sarve Jantavaha Tushyanti. All beings are appeased or happy to hear pleasant words, not harsh, arrogant, mean words. Who wants to hear that, right? So tasmat tat eva vaktavyam vachane daridrata ka. He's actually questioning us very harshly. What daridram you have, what poverty for words you have. Why can't you speak nice? Okay, what's happening with the annotate part? Hang on. Okay. All right. So all beings are pleased when kind words are uttered. Hence speak only thus. Is there a scarcity for good words? Not at all. So let's all speak nicely to each other. This is another nice one. Can we unmute Nikita? Okay. Ekamevaksharam yastu.
एकमेवाक्षरं यस्तु एकमेवाक्षरं यस्तु
Guru Shishyam Prabodhayet.
गुरुः शिष्यं प्रबोधयेत् गुरुः शिष्यं प्रबोधयेत्
Prithivyam nasti taddravyam.
पृथिव्यां नास्ति तद्द्रव्यं पृथिव्यां नास्ति तद्द्रव्यं
Yaddatva chandrini bhavet.
यद्दत्त्वा चानृणी भवेत् यद्दत्त्वा चानृणी भवेत्
Together. Ekamevaksharam yastu. Guru Shishyam Prabodhayet. Prithivyam nasti taddravyam. Yaddatva chandrini bhavet.
एकमेवाक्षरं यस्तु गुरुः शिष्यं प्रबोधयेत् पृथिव्यां नास्ति तद्द्रव्यं यद्दत्त्वा चानृणी भवेत्
Very nice. Thank you, Nikita. All right. So let's see the word splitting here. Ekam eva aksharam. Only one alphabet. Aksharam is alphabet. Kshara is something that can be split up. So that can change or be split up into smaller pieces. Akshara is something that cannot be split. Can we split an alphabet? If it is a samyukta akshara, for example, if it is a tra, I can split it to ta, ra, and a. But can I split the a further down, or the ta, t, or the r? That is akshara, the base minimum, right? So that is why it is called akshara. I wish I had more time to tell about all these things, because the very words itself in Sanskrit is so beautiful, The very word communicates the meaning of what it is trying to say. Suppose I say in English, a table, a chair. Suppose I never learnt English. There is no way I can understand why the table was called table. When the first person who created a table, he said, I'll call this a table. Was there a reason for it? Not really, right? But when we have said asandaha, in Sanskrit we say asandaha is that which gives you a place to sit. The very word means that, right? So when I say a word, it's already conveying the meaning of what it is trying to say to me. For example, khagaha, this is my favorite example. Khagaha is khe gachati iti khagaha, that which goes in the air. What? Bird. I can use that word for aeroplane also. I can use that word for sun also. If any of you know Aditya Hridayam, it says Khagah Pusha Gabhastiman, right? Khagaha is one of Surya's name also. Why? Because he goes in the sky, right? He travels in the sky. So anything that goes, K is in the sky, Gachati is going. That which goes in the sky is a bird, general meaning, right? Or it can be anything else that goes in the sky. So that way, this akshara is also one such word which says that which cannot be divided any further. So even that one word, if somebody has taught me, ekam eva, only one, guruhu shishyam prabodhayet. If the person has taught even one syllable, prithivyam, in this earth, na asti, it is not there, tat dravyam, dravyam is wealth, okay? There is no wealth in this world, yata datva, by giving which, cha, by giving which, anrini bhavet. Rana, we all know, is debt, right? Rana, we all know that the debt we take. So anrini is one when I give back the money. Suppose I borrow 100 rupees from you. I am a rini for 100 rupees from you. When I give it back, I am unrini, correct? I am not in debt for you after I give you that money. But here he's saying, if the teacher has taught me even one alphabet, there is nothing in this world I can give back and say, now my debt is clear. I cannot dust off my hands, saying that now I have done my job. That is why we call something as Guru Yagna, Rishi Yagna. When we give back to the society, that is how we can pay back to our teachers, right? So there is no way we can like teach the teacher back. Oh, here, like I took 100, I'll give you 100 back. You taught me ABC, I'll teach you ABC now. Doesn't make sense, right? So how we can repay the debt to the teachers is by paying it forward. We teach it to somebody else. Like we saw in the other shloka, Vidyadhanam Sarvadhana Pradhanam, right? So by us sharing, that is how we repay what we have learned from our own teachers. Something to remember by, and always, always be grateful. We always have to be grateful to who has taught us what we have learned. Doesn't matter. So it doesn't have to be somebody doing a pravachan from a pedestal. Suppose I see my maid sweeping really nicely. She is doing a diligent work. She is not leaving kuppe kuppe here and there and going away just like that, right? So I need to learn that diligence from that maid also. She becomes my guru in that aspect. I'm not saying we have to go fall at her feet, here you taught me, but the gratitude in our heart. What that makes is it doesn't let us build our egos. So that is something we need to keep in mind. And this is the reason our shloka says, even if he has taught you one alphabet, be ever grateful to that person, that teacher. See the meaning? So the meaning here is saying, even when the teacher has given the student insight into even one syllable, there is no such wealth on this earth which one can give to become free of this debt. This can be taken at many levels. It can be taken at the level, like I said, about a maid teaching me how to be diligent, or my teacher who taught me shastras, or my friends who said, hey, you were doing wrong. This is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to solve this equation. All these people, I need to be learning to be grateful to all these people. All right. I think that is bringing us to almost the end of the time we have. Let me stop the screen share for now. Okay. Does this contradict with Maunina Kalaho Nasti? Okay, let's do some question answers. So far everybody's clear, at least with the nod of your heads, please let me know. All these concepts and shlokas are clear? All right, fantastic. So let's see if we have some questions that we can attend. Can you please record this session? Yeah, okay. So it is recorded, but it will take us some time to upload it and stuff. So we'll let you know when it is available. Sorry that I cannot switch on the video. Okay. Provide recording. Yes. So you're all asking so that we'll be able to apply it later, future in our conversations. Thank you for bringing this point. I wanted to tell this during the introduction, and I think people from my class are already smiling. They know what I'm going to say. Yeah. So because, yes, we need to know these shlokas by heart. Like I said, there is no exam for anybody. But then, suppose you come up with a situation. You can't say, oh, wait a minute, I learned this Subhāṣita in that class, but you know what? I don't know what that is, right? Suppose that situation comes. What do? Hey, there is a Subhāṣita for that. And you reel out the Subhāṣita, right? And it is so concise, right? It makes it so powerful that in like 2 lines, you can communicate a whole paragraph of meaning. Just for 6 Subhashitas I spoke about for an hour, right? But in 2 lines, if you say, you can immediately convey the message in no time. And actually, by the way, hey, there's a Subhashita for that, for learning the Subhashitas by heart, that is. So it is called, it goes this way. Pustakasthatu ya vidya parahasta gatam dhanam karyakale samutpanne nasa vidya natadhanam, which means the knowledge that is in the book or the money you have given to other people, you cannot claim ownership of that, right? I can be a millionaire. I donate my $1 million. When I need to go buy fries, I'm going to say, you know what? I was a millionaire that day. Go take it from this person I've given him. Does it work? Similarly, if your knowledge is sitting in the books, you cannot claim ownership of it. You cannot say you know it. For that reason, please learn the Subhashitas by heart. That is why I, on purpose, picked simple and easy Subhashitas. Otherwise, there are long ones which go like miles together. It feels like it's not even finishing forever. That kind of Subhashitas. They have a lot of content. They are fantastic ones again. But to start off, we have to start small. The baby can't start running the first day, right? Has to first wobble, stand up, fall on his diaper, and then stand up again, right? So we are taking baby steps. So I wanted to not intimidate you by saying you have to run a marathon, right? That's why we have brought really small, simple Subhashitas. So kindly learn it by heart. That will help you a lot. Okay. And screen is blurry. Is it blurry for everybody? No. Okay. Yes, this document will also be shared with your emails. The shlokas will also be shared at the end of the sessions. Yes. Okay. Documents via links. Yes. Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions. Proverb Gade is derived from, if you feel that is derived from Subhashita, because there are some similarities, how Gade is written and how Subhashita, yes. So I think Shamant ji is saying a proverb like a Gade is also similar to Subhashita. Absolutely. What we have, the adages and proverbs in our local languages, most languages have. There is actually a Gade, which is about Gade, which says, Veda Sulladru, Gade Sullagodilla. Which means even if the Vedas are wrong, Gades can never be wrong. Gade is a proverb in Kannada, so it can never be wrong. So because it's words of experience from generations together. Like I said, it's not one person touched fire and said it is hot, don't touch. Every person touched fire, they got burnt only. So they said, oh, fire is hot, don't touch. It is that kind of universal truths. and it is from experience of many, many generations of people. For that reason, yes, this cannot go wrong at all. Chandas, the Subhashitas. When we say Chandasu, these Subhashitas also generate vibrations when recited, is it? Like shlokas and mantras. Yes. So when we chant these Subhashitas or any shlokas or anything Sanskrit, even if you speak Sanskrit, it is as good as pranayama, because there is the Alpa Prana, Mahapranas, the Udatta, Anudatta, Swaritas. We may not do it like Vedas here, but the ups and downs and how the breath is controlled, these are small Subhashitas. But if I take longer ones, if you're going from one end of the line to another end of the line, it's as good as a breathing exercise right there. If you all remember the Breathless, Shankar Mahadevan song, it was a breathing exercise. Not everybody can sing it. Even though you're singers, you can't sing it because it is a lot of exercise for your breath. So similarly, yes, chanting any of these is very good breath exercises. Thank you for asking that. अपूर्व बात, जो तो बड़े बिना खर्चे घट जाता है. Yes. Mayati, Kshayamayati, Sanchayat. Okay. So Suman Acharya ji is saying Vyayate Vruddhimayati, Kshayamayati, Sanchayat. Correct. There is another Subhashita. So as much as you spend, you will earn more, but as much as you accumulate, it will actually diminish. Why is the sentence saying that? Because suppose I am a medical student or I'm a qualified doctor. I'm not going to practice anymore. Look at the word itself. He has to practice, right? What he has learned. Suppose the doctor starts practicing. What does happen? He will forget. He will have to refresh his knowledge, right? He cannot go back to work and say, you know what? Penicillin is for, I think, fever, right? He cannot say that. So he will have to refresh his knowledge before he goes so he doesn't mess up with the patients. So yes, so Kshayamayati Sanchayat. By accumulating, it will only diminish. And another thing I want to tell you, Subhashitas are passed down like the Proverbs by many people, and we don't even know origins, right? So we don't know which book it came from, who is the author. Some of them, wherever it is known, I have given it in the slide itself. But then there are many times we don't know the origin. That's perfectly fine. And many times what happens, there will be a Subhashita, another poet, for some other context, he will change it a little bit and he will give a different version. So you might have come across some other version also. That's perfectly fine. There are many versions to same Subhashitas at times. That just shows the variety of knowledge, the vastness of the literature itself. All right. Okay. Which one? Do we have a question we have to attend? What is the vibhakti of patataha? Patataha is one who studies. Patata is the word itself. It's the prathama vibhakti. Patataha na asti murkhatvam. In Sanskrit, what happens is patati is the verb actually. A verb can be converted into a noun. So patati, one who patati becomes patata, right? Then pathayati, one who teaches, becomes pathata, right? One who teaches. So pathata is noun form now, and now pathataha is the first vibhakti, prathama vibhakti. I think somebody asked that. Sorry, I don't have the name for who asked that. Okay. And any other questions? Awesome. I'm happy to hear you're all able to follow the speed. I thought I was going a little fast. Take down the meaning of Subhashita. I'm not able to take down meaning of Subhashita. So yeah, one, I will definitely go a little slower next time. And two, we will be sharing all these material with you. So you don't have to worry. When we are doing the class, you can just pay attention on learning and hearing to the meanings. And you can have the shloka, the script, whatever I'm showing the slides, you can have all of them in your emails. Vidya says, does this contradict with Mauninaha Kalaho Nasti? Which part? I think she's trying to say the teaching part. If one person has to teach or whatever. So I don't know what Vidya you're trying to say. Maunina kalaho nasti is contradicting, but all I can remind you again is the disclaimer sentence, use as intended, right? Like I said, Maunina kalaho nasti, when somebody is bullying, don't use that and say, Maunina kalaho nasti, I will keep quiet. Oh, please come and bully me. In Hindi, we have no abel mujhe maar. They are not saying that. They are trying to say, when you think it is a conflicting situation and it is not worth the effort, as long as dharma is on your side, you have to stand up, right? Krishna did not tell Arjuna, Maunina kalaho nasti, fold your hands to Duryodhana, go back home. Arjuna would have been very happy in first chapter, right? Arjuna said, I don't want to fight, I don't want to kill all these people, let me go home, right? So Krishna didn't emphasize that and say, absolutely, good job, Maunina kalaho nasti. You can't say Krishna is contradicting this sentence, right? So we have to take it as per context alone. Is this from Chanakya Niti? Madhuri, Mallika Madhuri, I don't know which one you're referring to, Ma. Whatever is available, I would have given in the slide. I'm sorry, I don't know which shloka you're referring to here. Do we have a WhatsApp group? I have a Facebook group, no WhatsApp group, but there is a Facebook group where I publish Subhāṣita every day. You can look it up as Sanskrit Pearls. Okay. Thank you. We can hear, okay. Connecting Subhāṣitas, it says sharing increases knowledge. The last Subhāṣita connected in the way mutual sharing increases knowledge and we are gurus to one another. Rukmini, correct, rightly said. We are absolutely gurus to one another. Because we are always learning. There is no Guru Pitham, you know. That's why in our Guru Parampara, it is the Guru Tattva. It's not the person. Even the Gurus themselves say, go beyond me as a person. They don't tell, be my, you know, like be shuffling around me and just be serving me and don't work towards knowledge. They're only implementing us and propelling us towards knowledge, right? Maunina kalaho nasti, nice. Okay. Okay, do you feel that the proverb is derived? We attended that. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Which one? No. I want these 6 shlokas in written form. I will by heart it. Yes, Suman Acharya, you will get them. Yes, please, please by heart them. What is the last Subhāṣita you said that talks about memorizing them? Okay, I will go slower on this if any of you want to write it down. I don't have the slide on of that here. Pustakasthatu ya vidya parahastagatam dhanam karyakale samutpanne nasa vidya na tadhanam. So pustakasthatu ya vidya. That is the shloka that I said. Somebody is using Sanskrit. Subhāṣita is only termed when somebody is using Sanskrit, not necessary. The language of Sanskrit has gotten, you know, in and through our languages. Subhāṣita, the word itself means sushtu bhashitam, that which is well said. So it is perfectly fine to use it in a, you know, in any language. And in fact, I would, you know, recommend or encourage you to use the word Subhāṣita only, because the word import, when you change the language, it kind of loses its fizz, I would say. You know, it's like soda keeping on the table, how it loses the fizz. When you translate from Sanskrit to something else, the meaning and the power of it goes away. Like dharma is one of them. If I translate to English, it will sound as duty, or you can responsibility. It doesn't have the same power as the word dharma, right? Like right now, karma has become a part of English dictionary now. They didn't want to translate it. So dharma is one such word. There are many such words, many such words. You can't import it to another language. Subhāṣita, let's add it to that and make it popular as Subhāṣita itself. Is there a WhatsApp group? Okay. Okay. Oh, I think Suresh has already posted the shloka also here. Thank you, Suresh. Okay. When did the course start? Sri Lakshmi, it started today alone. Today was the first day. We have 3 more classes the following 3 Saturdays. It's going to be in the similar format. And we'll be meeting every Saturday for the next 3 weeks at 10:30 New York time and 8 p.m. India time. All right. So before we leave, I had promised that I'll give you a challenge. So I will give you a shloka. And if you want, you can screenshot it or take a picture of it, whatever works, write it down. I'll give you time. I will screen share it here. And I will not give you the answer to it. It is for you to find the answer and come back next class and we'll be discussing the answer. We'll be going a little slower next week. Today I wanted to compact everything and not miss out on any of the shlokas. And I will share screen with you now. Okay, so this is called as a prahelika. A riddle is called a prahelika in Sanskrit. Just the way the proverbs were called as Subhāṣitas, riddles are called as prahelikas. And plural of that becomes prahelikaah. So the first prahelika, the first challenge for first class of the session. Nikita, unmute yourself, please. Okay. Krishnamukhi na marjari.
Krishnamukhi na marjari. Krishnamukhi na marjari.
Dvijihva na cha sarpini.
Dvijihva na cha sarpini. Dvijihva na cha sarpini.
Panchabharta na panchali.
Panchabharta na panchali. Panchabharta na panchali.
Yojanati sa panditaha.
Yojanati sa panditaha. Yojanati sa panditaha.
Together. Krishnamukhi na marjari. Dvijihva na cha sarpini. Panchabharta na panchali. Yojanati sa panditaha.
Krishnamukhi na marjari. Dvijihva na cha sarpini. Panchabharta na panchali. Yojanati sa panditaha.
Thank you, Nikita. All right. So the Pada Vigraha goes like this. Krishna Mukhi na marjari. Black face. Krishna is black. Mukhi is face. Na marjari. It's not a cat. Dvijihva. Dvi is two. Jihva is tongue. Dvijihva. Who has 2 tongues? A snake. But he's saying na sarpini. It is not a snake. A female snake he's taking. He could have said sarpa. He's saying sarpini because of chandas. If he says sarpa, one alphabet will be short, right? Now don't get to saying that, oh, why did he take a female snake or whatever? It's not. Like I said, used for intended purpose only. So, na sarpini. Panchabharta. 5 husbands. But na panchali. She is not panchali also. We know only one person with 5 husbands, no? Yo janati sa panditaha. Whoever knows answer to this is a pandita. Awesome, right? We can all write pandit behind our names now. If we get an answer to this, and we can say we use this shloka as the reference point. So I will give you a meaning here. Black face but not a cat. Double tongue but not a snake. Has 5 caretakers, not Draupadi of Mahabharata. He who knows is a clever person. Hope we have a whole bunch of clever people who are going to crack the code. Well, it is an open book exam. You can Google, you can do whatever. The intention for doing that, giving you work, I know you cannot look it up if you can't break it. Go ahead, feel free, because the purpose of giving this challenge is for you to contemplate on these words and be in that mindset of thinking and looking up. When you do your legwork yourself, it sinks in better, is my belief. That was the reason for me to give this challenge. So I will give you the answer next week. Hope you have all enjoyed the class. Shall we finish up with the ending prayers? All right. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Thank you everyone. Have a great week and a safe week ahead. Stay home. Hari Om.